Please speak into the microphone, state your full name, and spell your last name for the record.
Veronica Steele, Steel.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Ms. Steele. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Do you go to school?
Yes.
Where do you go to school?
Florida Gulf Coast University.
And what year are you in?
My sophomore year.
Sophomore year?
Yes.
Where did you go to high school?
Douglas.
Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High
Yes.
School? When did you graduate?
2021.
I'd like to call your attention to February the 14th, 2018. Remember that day?
Yes.
During fourth period, do you remember where you were?
Yes.
Where were you?
The third floor of the freshman building.
And what classroom were you in?
1257.
And whose classroom was that?
Mr. Beagle's class.
Scott Beagle?
Yes.
And what was Mr. Beagle teaching?
He was teaching government.
Government?
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember approximately how many students were in the class?
I believe around 18 to 20.
Okay. And did anything happen during that fourth period?
Yes.
What happened?
The fire alarm went off while we were doing some review for one of our exams.
Could you just lean in a little bit more
Yes.
to the microphone, please?
We were doing a review for some of our exams that we were going to do, and the fire alarm had gone off, and Mr. Beagle told us to start packing up all of our things and to start heading down the stairwell. We flooded into the stairwell.
And you were going to go down the closest stairwell?
Yes, and
The
it
east
was
stairwell.
directly to our left.
Okay, the east stairwell, right?
Yes.
Okay.
When we left the classroom, the hallway was flooded with a lot of other kids from the other classrooms. So it was very packed. And before we were heading down the stairwell, it was like a rush of students that pushed back. And everyone got pushed back onto the walls and just a whole mess.
At that time, where were you?
I was directly outside of the classroom, in between the two rooms that were right next to each other was Beagle's class and Miss Lapel's class.
Okay.
So I was pushed in between right where that wall was. And then when we all got pushed back, it was just a whole sort of emotions. We didn't know what was happening or why, we all just stopped and everything. And all of a sudden, a ton of kids started pushing backwards and running to the other side of the hallway. And you can imagine just our emotions and everything. It was just all over the place. We didn't know what was happening or anything. And there was a teacher in the hallway that was yelling at everyone to stop running and to just calm down. But when more kids started running, we heard 7 shots go off in the hallway. And it echoed from the stairwell into the hallway. And from there, I almost got pushed into Lapel's class, but I pushed my way out and went back into Beagle's class and ran with my classmates. And we ran in front of the desk and threw ourselves on the floor and had our backpacks shielding us. We didn't know if it was a drill or not, but we just wanted to be safe because we were panicking and we didn't know what exactly was happening. So 7 shots going off that we heard, and then it just all went quiet and everyone from the hallway just disappeared into either classrooms or they left. And the way I was laying on the floor, I was laying on top of my 3 other classmates that were there with me. And we were shielding ourselves with our backpacks, and we had a clear view of the door, and we noticed that the door wasn't closed. It was wide open.
The door, the classroom to your door.
Yes. And our teacher, Beagle, his body was partially inside of the classroom, and then his torso down was outside of the classroom. And his body was blocking the door and holding it open. So it was very, scary for us because we didn't know what to do, and with all of us like crying and, you know, whispering to each other. It was pretty loud, I can say, especially with our door open. It kind of echoed into the hallway.
Right.
So it was just like a whole mess.
Okay, so what happened then?
Then we kind of just were laying there. We were texting our friends and family saying, like, we don't know what's happening. We think there's a shooter in here. You know, we heard shots going off and everything. What's it called? My classmate, one of my classmates, her phone actually rang, and, you know, she turned it off, and randomly her phone dialed 911. We don't know how. We just started hearing on her phone, like, 911, what's your emergency? And we didn't know how, you know, maybe I don't know what happened. But then she ended up hanging it up because it was really loud. And we were just all laying there. We didn't know what to do. And we were kind of just staying in the same position until the police and the SWAT team came up to our room.
Okay. After Mr. Beagle fell into the doorway, did you hear any more shots after that?
No.
Okay, you were just hiding in the classroom?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you take any cell phone videos?
Yes, I did.
Okay, let me show you State's Exhibit Mark 4L for identification. Let me take this out. Show you this drive. You see your initials on it?
Yes.
So you recognize this?
Yes.
And you've watched this?
Yes.
And this is truly and accurately depict everything you took on your cell phone
Yes.
on February the 14th, 2018?
Yes.
Okay, Your Honor, I'd like to introduce you to evidence of
Is there any
4L.
objection?
Objection in pursuant to DMIR 12 in the court's ruling regarding preservation.
Okay, thank you. Over the defense objection, State's Exhibit 4L, as in Lisa, for identification will be received as State's 73.
I'm going to play 73 for you, okay?
Okay.
Is that the door to the classroom there?
Yes. Someone's downstairs.